Welcome to the LeapFrogBI Academy video training series on dimensional modeling. In this video, we're going to be discussing degenerate dimensions. So a degenerate dimension is a dimension key that's been placed in the fact table. However, this dimension key will not have a related dimension. And usually, we're actually going to be using a natural key. It's important to remember that this is not a fact and it is not an attribute. It is a dimension key. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of degenerate dimensions. The most common example is the order header detail fact table. So you have a fact table which has line item information in it, such as this. Here we have a very simple one with just a foreign key pointing to our order date, a foreign key pointing to product. We have our quantity and amount, but we also have a degenerate dimension on order ID. So this degenerate dimension is here because it's going to allow us to group our facts by order ID. So each of the line items that are associated with an order can be grouped together, but there is no other, or there are no other attributes of that order. So for example, here we have two orders, 152 and 128. We can see how we can easily use this information to group our amounts or quantities up by order. Let's take a look at one more example. Here we're looking at loss information for in a fact table, which is tracking insurance claims. So we have a couple of foreign keys here, our date, our provider, and then we have our fact, which is loss. And in this case, we have two degenerate dimensions. One is our policy degenerate, it's a policy ID, and the other is a claim. Now, of course, if either the policy or the claim actually did have a dimension, then these would not be degenerates. These would be foreign keys pointing out to those dimensions. But in this case, we're assuming that there are no other dimensions for these two keys. So once again, since we have these degenerates in place, we can group our loss amounts here by policy, and we can further group our losses by claim within a policy. So that's what a degenerate dimension is. Just to point out a couple of important points here. We do not place attributes in the fact table. The degenerate dimension is not a name that we give, an attribute that we put in a fact table. It's not an excuse to put an attribute in a fact table. It is a key that does not have a related dimension. A good way to know that you may have a degenerate dimension is if you don't plan for one and you end up finding that your dimension is growing just as fast or nearly as fast as your fact table, then more than likely you've got a degenerate in there. Its purpose is to provide a way of grouping your facts, just like all other foreign keys in your fact table. And it also provides some business meaning. So in the case of a claim number, when we're using the natural key, we can actually pull that claim number out and relate it to other operational systems. So there you have it. That's the degenerate dimension. Thank you very much for watching this video. Look forward to seeing you in future videos.